going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock, he hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it! The Ducks have won!
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
Dante will dribble it out! The Ducks are Pac-12 tournament champions!
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Busy weekend around the University of Oregon Athletic Department, including Duck baseball tonight, Oregon softball tonight, the Oregon Twilight tonight. Hayward Field will be packed. I understand that Mother Nature may have a shower or two in store for us. Looking forward, though, to seeing all of you at Hayward and PK, and it is a critical weekend for Oregon baseball, Oregon softball. Also, the surplus sale is this weekend. If you didn't register for that priority access yesterday, you had until yesterday at 5 p.m. as a season ticket holder or Duck Athletic Fund donor to register for that priority access for the surplus sale. Now, if you missed that deadline, you can still get in for general admission. All the details are available on GoDucks.com. I have a feeling, though, there won't be a ton left because these bad boys, the exclusive Oregon Blazers from last year, are up for grabs. They'll go quick. This is a size 14 sitting on the desk. I don't wear a size 14. Wish that I did. Don't wear a size 14. Caden's directing the show today. Caden, do you wear a size 14? No? No,
I do not.
Damn. Scott, size 14? 13? Oh, I wonder. You think, like, put a little padding in the toe? I think we might be able to pull it off. Ashley Gentry's in the OSN studio. I don't know what size shoe Ashley wears, but I have a feeling she'd probably be able to fit both of her feet into a women's 7. He's size 14. Yeah, that's great. Anyway, the surplus sale coming up. I understand there's a number of Oregon football helmets that will be up for grabs, in addition to some of the other things that you see here on the desk, all available at the surplus sale this weekend. On today's show, we're going to hear from Jada Ross, Pac-12 Field Athlete of the Week this week. She talked with the media, previewing the Oregon Twilight, discussing her season so far. We'll talk with Jada Ross. And then women's basketball, a couple new additions to the roster to tell you about as Kelly Graves just keeps bringing in new transfers and new recruits. We'll break all that down. And then Valerie Wong, haven't heard from her yet this week. She previewed the final regular season series for Ducks softball that starts tonight at Stanford at 7 o'clock. Also of note, we have yet to hear from Derek Radley and Kiara Romero because the regionals start for Oregon women's golf on Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have updates for you. And then also we've yet to get to Dante Moore and Taisheem Johnson from after the spring game. We've sprinkled in the spring game interviews over the course of the week. That's the show today. Let's start with track and field. Jada Ross, Medford, Oregon native, currently has the 4th best outdoor throw in the world and 7th overall, including indoor marks. The throwers have been headliners for Oregon track and field this year. Big reason why the women of Oregon are number 3 in the latest ranking index for outdoor collegiate teams. Jada Ross talking with the media about her story, season so far from Hayward Field before competing at Hayward Field in the Oregon Twilight. The Ducks are in action tonight. Here's Jada Ross.
What's that been like of turning all that practice success into success you're seeing rankings and record books and things like that?
Yeah, I think as a group we can all say, the training is paying off and it's coming together at the right time with the championship season coming. So I think seeing the whole group have a good, successful weekend was just the best we could ask for. It was great to watch some hammer and then try to run over to disc and watch the jabs. So it was just a really fun meet, and I'm glad I got a little snippet of everyone to get to watch everyone. So that was really fun. Yeah.
reasonable? Think you guys kind of feed off each other and that fuels you?
Yeah, we had our group chat going in the beginning. We said, Shelby had a great throw. Mason had a great throw. Disc is going. So it was just a build. It was like, all right, keep it going, keep it going. It was great. We all love and support each other. I think even with the success, it just builds cohesion and everybody just supports each other and is there for each other at the same time.
The last time we talked to you, it was indoor season. For you, what has been the biggest factor in keeping that success you had in indoor moving to outdoor?
Yeah, I think for that, it's just keeping the same focus. We're building the NCs. My routes start all over after indoor nationals. It's start over and rebuild for outdoor nationals. So it's kind of that same strategy of my focus is on nationals, and those big successes are fun, but we're still building and there's more to come. So yeah.
As you're plotting out your season and training plans and all that, like, was setting collegiate records, in April, whatever, kind of part of that track?
It was never talked about, but I mean, it was a great outcome. I'm glad it happened, but it never really came up. It just happened, and it was just really fun and exciting. Yeah.
Did you ever envision that you would be at this point in your career, that you would be 3 years in and setting NCAA records?
To be honest with you, I did not, and I think a big part of that, and what Blue's helping me with, my coach Blue is helping me with, is just believing in myself and believing that I can do it and knowing that I can do it and going out there and competing, using the technique that he's given me and the strength that we're building and just competing. So I think I've learned a lot mentally the last 2 years that has helped me, and so I think with the collegiate record, it just built my confidence of like, okay, I can do this. I do believe in myself, and there's results to back that up. So I think, a lot of work has been done on my mental focus and things like that. So yeah.
Numbers speak for themselves, but what really makes that series in Tucson the greatest collegiate series of all time? And 3 of the top 10 marks all time. What made it so great?
So I don't even know how to answer that. I felt amazing. I think every throw, I just was focused on getting better, and I had a plan and a strategy to make the throw better every throw, and I wasn't concerned with the series. I remember ending the meet and thinking, oh, that was a great series, because the whole time I was just thinking throw to throw, get better, build, and just trying to grow each throw. So I think with the focus I had on being on individual throws, that helped a lot. Because I think I would have psyched myself out if I was thinking on my 6th throw, well, this has to be really far if I want it to be the greatest series. And instead I was like, oh no, I'm still going for a PR, like I'm still throwing. So again, focus on the mental part of it as well.
When you tied it, was it a little like, oh dang it, I just did it again?
A little bit, yeah. He said that number and I just was like, wow. I don't think I've ever tied a throw in a meet before, so that was it was kind of funny, comedic. Went up to Blue and I was like, they said 1971, and we just kind of laughed together because I don't know if that's ever happened. So you wish you had 1 more centimeter on it, but at the same time, I think that's the best follow-up meet I could have had to a collegiate record, is just showing that I can throw 19 and being consistent at it. So I think that's the meet that I needed either way. So
when you're working on mindset stuff, how much does it happen like just out here, like between throws and practice? I mean, are you off in a meeting room somewhere devoting more focus to it that way?
Here, we do a lot of just like in-practice comps. Me and my teammate Kobe, we'll just do like 4-throw comps, 6-throw comps, things like that to just practice getting into it and using some adrenaline. Off the track, I use a sports psychologist. I'm in regular therapy, things like that. So I put a lot of focus on my mental health, and I studied psychology in my undergrad, so it's something I believe in. And so there's a lot of power and strength in using the mental side of athletics.
I think the crazy thing is the women's shot put doesn't change from high school. Like the weight doesn't change when you go from high school. 16 feet. You've improved from when you were in high school to college.
Right.
What have you done technically, or I guess strength-wise? What has coach really done for you to really, I mean, 16 feet, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think The biggest thing is the weight room. I didn't lift in high school, so I got here and I learned how to lift. I learned what Olympic lifting was, what explosive movements were, so definitely utilizing the weight room was great. And then on a technique standpoint, there's no better technical coach out there than Brian Blutrick, so it's great having him, and then including the weight room as well. I think every aspect counts for the distance.
Was it the spin? I mean, obviously, was there something you maybe changed? Like, what was it that really changed it?
I think his technique is just really good. Like, we work on quick left leg, we work on long length, things like that. I'm shorter than most throwers, so I have to utilize every length piece that I can get, so that's the biggest part of it.
Is there a disadvantage with that, being height-wise?
There can be, but you kind of make up for it in explosive factors and things like that.
And then to be in the same conversation as Chase Jackson, Maggie Ewan, and Raven Saunders.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Oh, it's mind-blowing. Yeah, these are people I've looked up to and have seen as motivators and things like that for a lot of my life. So it's great to be competing with them and to have similar numbers next to them. It's very surreal. So
does the mind keep going to the Olympic trials, or is it staying focused within the season?
My mind is conference, regionals, nationals, trials, and it's one at a time, and it's go for it every meet. So one at a time. I think my big meet will be nationals, and then we'll just try to have some fun at trials. So yeah.
How do you do that after having such great back-to-back weekends? How do you keep your focus on the next thing instead of now suddenly being like, I'm up there with these people and looking ahead to late June?
I think it's just that focus that I put on the mental part of it. I just know that with time these meets will come, and so focusing on one at a time. I don't want to psych myself out and think, oh, I have to be really good by June. I want to think, oh, we're building to June. So it's every day. I come here, I do my drills, I do my throws, I lift, I get stronger, I get better, and then I do the same thing the next day. And that's just kind of where my mindset is it's an everyday build to the big meets. And it's not just the big meet. We're building to the big meet. So that's kind of where my mental set is at.
Can you describe for us mortals like what a big throw feels like? I wonder if it's like, like you talk to a golfer or someone who plays baseball and softball,
Right.
It's like when they contact the ball, it's pure. They don't even have to watch it. They know they got it right. Is that what a big throw feels like? Do you not even have to wait for the measurement?
Yeah, right when I let go of it, it felt great. And I'm watching the ball still in there, which is even better when the ball is in there and I turn around. So it feels great. It almost feels easier. It almost feels like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do it. And you release it, it feels great. It's just a really good connection all through your whole body. And it's just really fun to just watch it kind of keep flying after you let it go. So, yeah.
What's a message you want to tell to young high school athletes out there that you don't need to peak in high school? You got all these years to come. I mean, like I said, you've PR'd by 16 feet since you were a senior in high school. So what's the message you really want to send out there, not just to high school athletes, but young girls all around?
Yeah. I think the biggest message I would think is just make sure you're having fun with it. I think the whole time I had a little too much focus in high school even on just being good. And once you start having fun with it, that's when you start really learning and growing with the sport. So I would say have fun with it and realize that results are not the whole part of the sport, especially in high school. Results aren't the whole thing. Grow and learn in the sport and enjoy it and have fun.
You're competing in the discus this weekend?
Yes.
Can you tell us just what you're looking to get out of this weekend?
I think this weekend I just want to compete well. My mom's coming. It's my senior night, so I just want to compete well for her, throw well, and just have a good senior night is what this weekend's focus is on.
But could senior night really be the Olympic trial final?
It could, yeah. You can make that work.
That's awesome. Jada Ross talking honestly there about competing in multiple events throughout this outdoor season and indoor season. That's cool to see it. For a Medford, Oregon native, senior night coming up. Mother Nature, give us a break tonight at Hayward Field for the senior ceremony, will you? That's Jada Ross, the two-time Pac-12 Field Athlete of the Week. Having an impressive season with some of the best marks in the world. Been cool to see. When we come back, looking at the Diamond Sports, baseball, softball on the way tonight, also some women's basketball. Stick with us. More interviews coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack with you here in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon baseball tonight. It's a 6 o'clock start. Ducks facing the Utes. The way the Pac-12 standings shake out, this is a huge series. Oregon is facing the team in Utah that is tied atop the Pac-12 standings with Arizona. The Utes and the Wildcats are 14-7. Then it's Oregon State 12-8 and the Ducks 12-9. USC chasing the Ducks at 11-9. Stanford 11-10. Cal and ASU both 12-12. Well, here's why this is so huge. Utah 14-7. Say the Ducks get the sweep, they jump Utah. Maybe Arizona loses some games to Stanford. Oregon State loses a game or two at Washington State. Suddenly the Ducks are in first place with 2 regular season series left. Who's Oregon facing down the stretch? Washington and Seattle. They're 8-13 in conference, and Washington State at home. The Cougs are 7-14 in conference. So why does all this matter? Because a Pac-12 championship could be on the line at PK Park this weekend. That's why it matters. Oregon and Utah tonight. It's game day. 6 o'clock, the Ducks face the Utes. 2 o'clock tomorrow and noon on Sunday. Trying to continue building on the great pitching that the Ducks had last weekend. RJ Gordon gets the ball here tonight. For softball here coming up, and we're going to hear from Valerie Wong in just a moment. It's also a huge series. The Ducks could jump up to, say, second place in the standings, depending on how things shake out. UCLA is 14-4. Stanford, the team that Oregon's playing in Palo Alto, technically, I guess, in Stanford, California, with Palo Alto surrounding it this weekend. Stanford's 15-6, then Washington 13-8, and Oregon sitting at 12-8. Say the Ducks get a series win, they'd finish 14-9. That would be a spot behind Stanford, but not bad. Ducks could potentially jump to second place, or at least be the number 2 seed in next week's Pac-12 tournament that is played at Stanford. Long road trip for Oregon softball. Valerie Wong, we'll hear from her in just a moment, but I do want to also mention some women's basketball news. 2 new additions since we last talked here on Duck Insider. And I got to tell you, Coach Graves has been putting together an absolutely tremendous transfer portal class. Not just players that have like 1 year of eligibility left, but a couple that have multiple years of eligibility left. A new addition, a talented transfer, a 5'11" forward, Salimatu Kuruma from Arizona. Kuruma's a native of Mali, spent the 23-24 season with the Wildcats after 2 seasons at Little Rock, where she was the 2023 Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year. Averaged about 17 points a game there. Added 7 rebounds, stole the ball about 3 times a game, had an assist per game while shooting 41% from the floor, was named the OVC Player of the Week 3 times her redshirt junior season. Pretty impressive what Coach Graves has put together. And it's not just Kuruma, but now today the Ducks have continued to add to the talent. They've signed Washington transfer guard Ari Long. Long is a 6-foot rising sophomore, was a 4-star prospect with the nation's 46th and was the nation's 46th ranked recruit in the 23 recruiting class. Appeared in 17 games in her freshman campaign for the Huskies. 4 points, 2 rebounds. Highly touted player coming in. Now she'll have 3 seasons of eligibility remaining here coming to play for Coach Graves. A little bit of women's basketball news for you. Diamond Sports both in action tonight along with the Oregon Twilight at Hayward Field. Valerie Wong, a veteran for Missy Lombardi's team this week, met with the media before traveling to Stanford. 7 o'clock first pitch tonight, Val Wong.
Is there anything you hope to take from this past Sunday's game into this next weekend with Stanford?
Yeah, I think this Sunday's game, like, we had a long week of practices that we were working on a lot of things, and I think we were able to work on things throughout the game and just continue to have, like, higher energy. So I think taking that into this weekend, playing a team like Stanford will go a long way for us.
What are some of those things that you guys were working on, and how did it pay off this past Sunday?
Yeah, I think just, like, as a whole, like, communication, like, throughout, like, defense, pitching, catching, like, coaches, hitting, like, just making sure, like, we're all, like, on the same page. I think we were working on that throughout the week, and I think it showed up this weekend, and I think it is just a big key to winning, and so taking that into this weekend will do great things for us, and just continuing to take that into postseason as well.
Feels like this season, offensively and Pac-12 play has been a different you this season. It feels like you've gotten a lot better, a lot more comfortable in Pac-12 play. For you, where do you feel like you've grown the most from last year to this year?
Me personally, I feel like I've just been a lot more confident, playing a lot more free. Like, I know, like, our season just keeps getting harder and harder as it goes by. It never gets easier. And so just remembering that, like, I can control, like, the things that I can control, and the things that, like, my team and I, like, can't control, we can't. And just continuing to give our full effort has been a really good switch for me from the past years, like, having just a better mindset in general. And I think you'll see that throughout a lot of the girls on our team. Like, a lot of us have changed our mindset, and, like, it's just been really good for the culture of our team.
How much is that an ongoing thing, though? Because, you talked about postseason mentality mindset last year and kind of the neutral thinking this year. I mean, is it just even when you hit on something you think is a helpful technique, is it still just a constant battle to kind of keep yourself in the right place mentally? Yeah, like, our game is really hard mentally. I feel like it's harder mentally than physically, and so it's a continuing battle, like you said. Like, but I feel like breaking it down and talking version to version, like, I've been here since version 2, and, like, it's been an ongoing thing, like, for us to find, like, our culture and, like, what our team, like, plays for, and, like, our mindset. And like I said, it never gets easier. Like, we're just continuing to grow on things. And so, like, from version to version to version, I can say, like, proudly that we've gotten better at our mindset each year. And, like, I want it to continue to grow after, like, my class leaves, and, like, I think it will. And I think they'll take the things that they've learned from us, and they'll take that, and I think they'll continue to work with the coaches and Coach Lombardi on finding things that work for each version individually.
When you guys talk about the neutral mindset, are you referencing from the Trevor Millar book, or is that just something that coaches passed on, or because it's something that comes from him? I was just curious.
We work with someone named Becky. She's helped us a lot with our neutral thinking and our neutral mindset. I'm not quite sure from that book, but it's just been something that we've been working hard on as a team, and it came from somebody outside of our team that is now, like, a part of us, I think, and it's been really good for us.
Who is Becky, and what is her role?
She works with Brett Ledbetter, I believe that's his last name. Like, we used to work with him, and now we work with Becky, and she's awesome. Like, she's just the same as Brett was for us. And she just works on like our mindset and like just having a winning mindset and things that work for our team and our team culture. And it's done like wonders for us. Like I feel like working with her, she's been able to break down things we've struggled with just as a team, like not even softball or like the physical aspects of the game. And we've been able to work through things as a team better because of her. And so I think we're all just really grateful that we've had her this year.
Speaking of mindset, does this weekend feel any different because you're going to Stanford and you're staying there for the Pac-12 tournament? Does that change you guys' approach anyway, other than bringing maybe more clothes to wear?
No, like we'll still continue to do the same exact thing. Like our itinerary doesn't change. Like we play our 3-game series and then we have our day off and then we continue to go out there and work our butts off at practice, and then we get into the start of postseason. I think the only thing that's changed is just the mindset of like, this is the start of postseason for us. I feel like I know it's still the last weekend of Pac, but for us, we're just thinking like postseason mindset and just taking that and just running with it as far as we can just for this year. And because it's the last Pac-12 series, Pac-12 tournament, like there's just a lot more emotion to it, which I think is good for our team. I think we ride off of having our emotions and just loving the game, and I think this weekend is big for us.
How much does the stakes of this weekend and the possibility of moving up in the league standings, which will change the tournament seeding, how much is that a thought, a motivator, if at all, or is it just still take it, a game at a time, all those kinds of things, aware of that reality, but how much of it is a motivator or not?
Yeah, I think our team is motivated to finish as well as we can, and beating a team like Stanford is our goal, and they're just a really good team, but I feel like we're better, and I think that we can take this whole weekend from them, and then taking that motivation and the energy into the Pac-12 tournament, I think we can win the whole thing, and then it'll put us in a really good spot for postseason. So I think it's a big motivator, but it's not something that is what we're dwelling on when we are practicing. We're preparing the same way we've prepared all year for every other team. So
Valerie Wong, I thought that was interesting, talking about the mentality of where the team is at. One of the veterans who's been around this program. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of spring football, still some women's golf because postseason is here. Some Critical Diamond sports tonight. Back to that. Also track and field, still coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. Continuing to review spring football, Jorgie's going to be with us next week, actually, talking a lot of spring football. We'll break a whole lot down. Look, I understand that there's so much excitement. Season tickets are sold out for the first time in a long time. I was even just thinking about this today. So our office, the studio, is here in the Casanova Center. Those of you that are familiar with the Autzen complex. Well, you know how they say that the quickest route from point A to point B is a straight line? Well, for us, you walk out the door of the Marcus Mariota Sports Performance Center on the first floor of the Casanova Center, and you're at the Autzen gate. The straight line to PK Park is to walk right across the field at Autzen Stadium, right across Rich Brooks Field. I did that literally today, and it just occurred to me, like, I am just walking across Autzen Stadium to take a shortcut to the ballpark. And I was reminded how crazy that place can be when there's 60,000 strong, and we're anticipating that for a lot of games here this weekend. There's still some mini plans available for the first 2 games of the year against Idaho and Boise State before the Ducks play at Oregon State. I would encourage you to jump on those now. I think the excitement's only going to continue to build. I say all that. I think there's going to be some great competition in the fall that we'll be talking about on Duck Insider in August also. Dante Moore, first time at Autzen Stadium in an Oregon uniform, performing the way that he did. What was that like? Dante Moore postgame after the spring game.
How you guys doing?
That last touchdown got wiped off the board.
It did? Oh. Well, in my head, I scored. I think we all know I scored, but it's like, at the end of the day, great game. Great play to finish out the game, and great atmosphere. I'm just, blessed to play in my first spring game for sure.
How would you assess your performance from today?
Today was just really to go out there and have fun. Show all the hard work we did during spring ball with, the rainy practices, being in the indoor, all things like that. It's just, a true blessing to, have the chance to play my spring game out here in Autzen. And like I said, I always get told it never rains at Autzen, and today it was raining, but it cut out when we were in there. So, like I said, I'm just, blessed to be able to play. Did good. Throw the ball down the field. Protected the football. Just had a really good time with the team, and really, congratulate everybody for sure.
As spring ball kind of winds down here, Dante, where do you feel like you got better, and what's the next step for you as a quarterback?
Really, the next step as of right now is as a quarterback. Really, is just to keep being in the film room, keep learning the plays here. Thankful to have Coach Lombardi, Coach Salkin was here tonight at the Bengals, but just having the coaching staff, Coach Stein, to really help me break down formations, plays, and just really for me to get comfortable with the system. So over the next couple months, still getting comfortable with the system, learning more plays and things like that. So really just to get better mentally for sure.
How did it feel for you today overall? How do you think you did, and how did it feel like running the offense for the first time with fans in the stadium?
It felt good to go out there for the first drive and really, have the fans, applaud me while I went out there. In life, I feel like everything happens for a reason. I'm glad to be back. It's just really blessed to be here and really being out there, handing the ball to Jordan James and having a good front five and throwing the ball and just really having great playmakers around you is a blessing. So at the end of the day, I'm just blessed to really go out there and, produce the ball down the field.
So you getting down to shout?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind during that?
That was my first, during the whole recruiting process, I've never been to a game of Autzen at all. It's like my first time actually being in the atmosphere. So I always heard about, the song, the shout. So I was kind of waiting for the part where it got quiet and then get back loud. I was really with Trey most of the time, but it was a great song, great atmosphere. And when you have really good, loyal fans, it makes you play even better.
Did it kind of feel like a moment deferred for you, considering, the whole recruiting process? And it was probably something you thought about during that time doing, right?
Yeah, it was for sure something I've always been thinking about. I'm just glad to be able to do it.
Dylan said that you guys, the quarterback room, is focusing on execution this year. Do you agree with that? And how do you think that went today?
Yeah, the biggest thing as a quarterback is, to protect the football, execute, put points on the board, and really just to be a leader. And I feel like as a quarterback room, we all have, us 6 quarterbacks have the opportunity to do that. And, during spring ball, we was helping each other stay out, late night watching films, really breaking down film where we was helping each other out, like, hey, Dylan said he starts this play reading it this way, and I said I read it the other way. But we come together as a whole to make it more simple for us to see how plays work. So I feel like here as a group, we're, as a big quarterback group, we're being, great leaders and great friends to really make sure that we understand the system.
I feel like you guys adjusted to the in-helmet communication.
Oh, it's amazing. It's way better. Really, I feel like they should have been doing this, because I feel like at every level, you kind of want to get ready for the next level. So in college, a lot of people, NFL quarterbacks get to speak in the helmet. So just having an opportunity to do that, really be able to, get the communications, get to see different looks and things like that is really a blessing for sure.
Is it like cut down on time?
Yeah, so at 15 seconds it cuts off, just like the NFL is. it really cuts off. So if Coach Stein's saying something and it goes out, you're kind of like, oh, what did he say after that? So I'm just, it's another blessing, here, be able to do it during spring ball at practice and really get used to it. For sure, it's going to be something really amazing.
The defensive lines for both sides of the ball, both teams today looked really good. Has that kind of been your assessment throughout the rest of spring?
Yeah, really, the D-line is helping me out, especially the O-line as well. When you have Jordan Birch, he's a monster. really him just being able to, bull rush and do different moves and having Mateo and, Mariana, everybody to help, better us as an offense. It helps out a lot. Really, when I got here, I never had the ball batted down as much as I had before last year. I practice, everybody knows Latu for sure, top 15 pick, he just went yesterday or 2 days ago. But he was the only person that really helped me get back the ball down. I was like, dang, how they keep doing it? But here, it's like everybody's doing it. They're tipping the ball down, tipping the ball in the air. So a lot of that is really helping me out, helping the offense out. So at the end of the day, we're all getting better.
During the offseason, we hear so much about the importance of culture for a football program. How would you describe the culture here at Oregon and what makes it special?
I feel like here, at the end of the day, everybody has one goal, and that's to be in the NFL. We're in Eugene, not much to do. Really, you got school and football. And I feel like if we all have that one thing in our mind, playing football and against the NFL, we're all going to do what we got to do to make sure we get better as a team to reach our goals. And here, culture with Coach Landy, having get real meetings, things like that, really to talk about more just outside of football, understand as a family and what people's whys are when they play football is just a true blessing. And here, I feel like football is loved, and that's what you want to surround yourself around to get to your goals. But it's just a blessing to be here. Like I said, in life, everything happens for a reason. So I'm blessed to be here.
Thank you.
That's Dante Moore after the spring game. Blessed to be here. Also, in my mind, the touchdown counted. He probably would have gotten tackled a few times was it not the spring game. I think we can all agree. Tysheem Johnson also now a veteran with this team. The last of our post-spring game review conversations with Tysheem Johnson.
Just how you feel being back out there in front of fans and us?
Oh, it felt good. Long time since we've been in there. Just couldn't wait to show the fans what we've been working on.
How do you feel like you guys played out there, the defense?
I feel like we did good. As always, like I say, always room for improvement. But a lot of young guys got a lot of good reps, so I think we did good.
Anybody specifically catch your hand?
Yeah, for sure. Aaron Flowers, young safety, coming in smart, knowing guys handed the playbook on his job, knowing what he's doing. So that's something I'm excited for.
What is it that Aaron Flowers position where he was out there a whole lot?
Yeah, just coming in every day with the right mindset, listening to the coaches, buying in, just taking it one day at a time and trying to get better every day. That's what he's doing.
Where do you feel like you made progress over the last month?
Basically playing safety, boundary safety, something I never played before. So just being able to play all three safety positions on the field is where I got new fed, playing star, field safety, or boundary safety. So I basically play all three positions.
What's the next step for you? With the practice coming up and the break after, what's your plan?
Just always keep getting better. You never could reach your goal. There's always room for improvement. I want to be a more vocal leader as well. That's how I'm going to keep working on.
Your team's defensive line a lot of pressure regardless of what it was. Is that something you've seen throughout the spring and scrimmages and just in practice in general?
Yeah, for sure. Our D-line be eating, and that's one thing we always talk about. We got a good D-line, then make our job easier in the back end. So.
You had a nice play in the first half where you rotated over the top to break up what would have been a big one to Evan Stewart. How much of a threat is he out there when he's on the field at receiver now?
Evan, total threat for sure. Y'all know he's a gamer, playmaker, so when he's on the field with Ted, we just got to know where they at for sure.
How much have you had a chance to practice with Kobe during the spring?
Not so much, but they try to keep us away from each other with like green and yellows, but we get to see each other in film and always help each other. Just talk about certain things because we're not on the field with each other. So in our film, that's how we've been improving and connecting our bond.
That's something that the player-led practices coming out that you guys are doing a little bit of work more together.
And then when they come up, then that's how we can create our bond and who's going to be the leaders of the defense and making sure we communicating. So looking forward to it.
Your fellow safety from last season at Williams just got drafted in the 2024 draft. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to your defensive backline?
No, I'm excited. I'm definitely happy for my guy. He just basically put on for us. Basically just showed that if he go out there and do it, then we do it the right way, then we can get drafted too.
What do you think the secondary needs to work on most heavily this summer?
Just technique, just technical, whether it's corner, star, or man coverage at safety. So basically just owning our technique, and yeah, that's what I think. So.
How different is that group? It's actually, I mean, obviously Kyrie's gone, but you add Cam and Jabbar, where the depth of corner is just different right now. How is it noticeable even in the spring with the two of them?
It ain't really noticeable, but I know it's more noticeable that it's a lot more compete because we don't know who's going to be out there. So every day them guys got a chip on their shoulder to show that they're the best or they should be the number one corner. So that's what I'm excited for, just to see them compete every day.
Competition continues. Spring football wrapping up. The Ducks getting ready now for the individual workout, the summer workout period. A lot of individual work over the summer. That's when you develop that chemistry off the field. Fall camp going to be here in August before we know it. Limited tickets still out there. Get them while you can. When we come back, women's golf. It's officially postseason time for Derek Radley's crew, talking with the head coach after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're back at Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you here in the Country Financial Studio. Following this weekend, out in Auburn, the Oregon women's golf team in the NCAA Regionals. Derek Radley talking with his team that's been up and down this year, truthfully, but have had some impressive individual performances. Yesterday afternoon, Coach Radley caught up with the media before the Ducks travel to regionals. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for Oregon women's golf in the postseason. Coach Radley here.
We just talked to your freshman, obviously pretty mature kid. Just how do you feel she's going to handle this stage? And is somebody you're going to look to help lead you guys for as long as you can stay alive here?
Yeah, she's a superstar. Proven winner, in junior golf. I think that win that she had at the Junior Girls Championship in Denver this past summer really propelled her to the stage that she's on now. Winning her first college event. It's so funny. We checked into to the airport. She was 17 years old, and we always get all the driver's license to check them in at the counter at the airport. And I said, "Where's your driver's license?" She says, "I don't have one." I said, "How do you travel?" And she's like, "I just travel as a minor." And she goes out and wins. So she's just incredibly gifted, incredibly talented, and can rise to the occasion. Great players play great when it means the most. So we're going to lean on her a lot, and I know she's excited for it.
Talking about her mindset and how she just, she tries not to put too much weight on any one event versus another. But so how does she manage to rise to the occasion while also not kind of trying to do that?
Yeah, she, I think she's used to the spotlight. She just played at Augusta Women's Amateur. And I think the key to success in any sport, especially golf, is just kind of going back to staying in the moment, and we take it one shot at a time. So she knows if she maximizes that, she's just so talented that great golf will come.
Everybody knows that, though. Like, how does she so mature that she can do that?
Having brother and sister, it's a big golfing family. Her brother Kyrese is a freshman here and plays for Coach Martin. Her sister just graduated from Pepperdine, so they're extremely competitive, the three of them. And I think, when she tees it up, she wants it, and she wants to win. And she's not going to let fear or expectations or the moment get in the way of that. And, she has a 3-iron in her bag and a 4-iron. I can tell you she's probably the only female in the country in college golf that plays a 3-iron and a 4-iron. She just hits it to the moon on a rope, and there's no pin that she can't get after to try to make a birdie. And you watch her on her team, and it's really fun to watch her in green and yellow playing for the Ducks. So,
and just being so young, what is her leadership style like? Being so advanced for her age.
Yeah.
How does she kind of fit into maybe some of the other veterans that have been here kind of for a while?
Well, I think we're all really thankful she's here. So the veterans embraced her right away. But Kiara is, she should be a senior in high school right now. So she's pretty quiet by nature. I'm really proud of her. I think she's come a long way, especially in this media setting. But, I think they've just really embraced the success and the talent that she is. And she's stepped into the leadership role from a golfing standpoint. I still think we have our leaders in our seniors from a vocal standpoint. But, she's goofy. She's fit right in perfectly with our culture, and really excited to see what she does this postseason.
She was talking about how encouraged you guys were with the conference tournament showing. You feel like you have a little bit of momentum as you head into this event?
Very thankful to have some momentum. Yes. The Pac-12 has been the leader in women's golf for so long. We're 14th in the country and 6th in our conference. And so to finish third in that championship meant a lot. And before the tournament, I had all of our ladies raise their hands. I said, who's won a tournament on this team before in your golfing career? And they all raised their hand. I said, Kiara, how many of you won? She said, 76. I said, Karen Suru, our new little freshman, I said, how many of you won? She said, 23. So at that point, I think you really all noticed them believing in each other, which in golf, we never pass the ball to each other. But we need to believe that there's great golfers on your team that will have your back if you're having an off day. And it was great to see that momentum at Pac-12, and, better late than never. And excited to see how we do it at regionals and moving forward.
So heading down to Alabama, initial thoughts on the field as well as the golf course itself?
Yeah, so we're it's going to be a challenge, for us. Thankfully, we get to leave 2 days beforehand to adjust to time. So we're leaving tomorrow on Friday. Our practice round's on Sunday. So hopefully that'll take care of itself. And it's only a 2-hour time difference. We realize instead of a 3-hour time difference. But yeah, it's going to be TIFF Eagle Bermuda grass. It's going to be hard and fast. We've done a lot of research on the course. They had a men's event there in March, and 16 over won the tournament, was their home men's team, and second place was at 31 over par. So I think it's going to be a challenge, but I think in postseason, you want a difficult course because typically the best teams get through. And so we're going to have a lot of strategy, excited to get down there and figure it out, where we want to miss, where we want to be hitting approach shots into the greens to make it easy for up and downs if we don't have birdie putts.
This week, the weather hasn't been great, to say the least. So what is your practice?
It's been 85 and sunny. What are you talking about?
Right. You're right. My bad. Yeah. How has practice been for you guys this week? Again, kind of dealing with.
So this time of year is always interesting because it's U.S. Women's Open qualifying time. So Minori went and played last week with Karen Suru, and our assistant coach Chrissy Carmen just played, and then Tiffany and CCT just played as well. So they haven't really been here in Eugene together as a group. Kiara doesn't have to qualify because she's the U.S. reigning junior girls champ, so she's auto in the U.S. Women's Open. But I like it from the standpoint that they stay competitive, and so I think that's a good distraction when they're continuing to play in tournaments. And then when they have been here, they know me that we're going to get to work on short game. So we've just been doing a lot of chipping, a lot of wedges, a lot of putting, and excited to get down there and just kind of really get used to that setting and the type of grass that it's going to be in.
You know it's going to be a tough setup like that. Obviously, everybody wants to make birdies. As a coach, how do you approach kind of messaging to your team that, hey, we got to take what the course gives us to some extent and just stack it?
Patience is a key in this as we move forward. You know, really, like I said, staying focused on one shot at a time. We're going to be the king and queen of using the word therefore. So a lot of times I think, you know, we get out there and we say we want to finish top 5, we want to win the tournament. Therefore, this is what we need to do to be focused on that. So, you know, I think just mastering what we can do in the moment, but also really staying patient and letting the course come to us, not going after pins that we shouldn't have to go after and forcing unforced errors. I think just fairways and greens, you know, and eventually kind of get settled down and then go from there.
I know last year at this time, you guys just didn't have the finish that you wanted to, didn't make it past regionals. Yeah. How have you kind of seen, going back to your seniors, how have you kind of seen them step up this year to really make that a goal to get to NCAA championships?
We're calling this year the Revenge Tour, you know, and I think last year was difficult in the sense of we were living in 2022 where we finished second and had the success. I think the expectations made us tight at last year's regional. So I think our seniors that have been on the team learned that, and they know to stay loose. And then we have our 3 new freshmen. So they don't really know what it's like. You know, they're going to get thrown in the fire, but they've had proven success, especially at the Pac-12 championship. And so I know they'll lean on the seniors, especially CCT, who was a part of that team that made that run 2 years ago. Yeah, and really it's about keeping it light for that week. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's still a golf tournament. We need to do what we do and go handle business.
Speaking of that conference tournament, round 1 compared to round 2, what happened?
Wind. So the first round, Pullman sits at 1,900 feet elevation, and there's no trees, there's nothing to protect it. So the first round was gusting up to about 30, 35 miles an hour. And last year, we had known that there was a regional played at Pullman, Palouse Ridge Golf Course, and Stanford won at like 50 under par. So we knew the scores were going to be really low for the Pac-12 championship. But then all this wind came in, and I think we shot 5 over that first round, and we're tied for second. So from there, then the wind died down, and the high of the wind, I think was miles per hour, was like maybe 6 to 7 the last 2 days. So USC went out and played great. They shot 20 under. We shot 11 under. And then 10 under in the final round. So really proud from the sense of we played it great when it was tough, and we played it great when it was easy. And as a coach, that's what you're looking for, especially as we move into postseason.
Postseason's here. Ducks traveling. They'll go out, he said, 2 days early. Coach Radley there talking. Brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Oregon Women's Golf. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the regionals. Postseason. Top 5 teams on the women's side out of the regional advance. Got to be there. When we come back, weekend preview, Diamond Sports. They're coming up on postseason. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays? The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, this is Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack. Coming up tonight, on the road first, Oregon softball, 7 o'clock at Stanford. Knight Urezki's down there for KWVA, our friends at the student radio station here at the U of O. It's televised on the Pac-12 Bay Area channel. Ducks and Stanford, first of 3. 4 o'clock tomorrow, and then the Ducks will finish the series at 2 o'clock on Sunday coming up. Meanwhile, Oregon baseball tonight. Huge game, Oregon against Utah, 6:05 at PK Park, the first pitch scheduled. It's a critical series against the Utes because the standings are big time with 3 regular season weekends left. Utah and Arizona are tied atop the conference standings in baseball at 14-7. Arizona's got to play Stanford. Not an easy team to knock out. They're 11-10 right now. Ducks lost that series at Stanford a couple weeks ago. The Beavs have a half-game lead on the Ducks, who currently sit in 4th place. If Oregon wins the series against Utah, they're within striking distance of the Utes. If the Ducks sweep the series against Utah here at home, Oregon could be in first place in the Pac-12 standings. Depends on what happens with Arizona and Stanford and Oregon State at Washington State. And I'll just say this. The Beavers are 4-8 on the road. And I think they're now 22-2 at home. One of those losses is to Oregon. Beavs have been a different team on the road, so maybe our friends on the Palouse could get a win there. It's going to be fun the next 9 games for Oregon baseball around the Pac-12. A lot of critical baseball here on the horizon. Best of luck to Oregon women's golf. Postseason officially here. And then tonight at Hayward Field, the Oregon Twilight for Duck Track and Field. I'm Joey Mack. Baseball this weekend. We'll see you at PK Park. Go Ducks.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard on